Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm just having a quick look at our group class of older adults or seniors doing like our basic strength group workout. So what I wanted to just discuss, which I've done several times before, is that the way that people are taught to or told to train with seniors and older adults is to really keep it safe and almost treat them as if they're disabled. But what I wanted to show you in this video is just the exercises and the movements that they all can do, and to be honest, the average age of the people in this class is probably high 70s, early 80s. So some of them have had a stroke, some of them have had heart bypass, several have had knee replacements, hip replacements, some have had back surgery, shoulder surgery, all types of things, but yet they can still do almost all the functional movements that you would see any other people of ordinary or younger age groups can complete. Now, does it mean that they're perfect at everything? No. Does it mean that it was the best place to start with them? No. But they had to be shown and taught how to do things, no different to anyone else. The thing that I wanted to emphasize in this video, and I'll go back and play this again for you, is that I didn't treat them as though that there's nothing that could be done. Remember, they came to me for help because they were really lacking skills in their life or couldn't do things anymore, and they wanted to learn how to get out of that and not end up in a wheelchair. Now, if I'm going to start training them by sitting in chairs, as I'll show you, this is, and the reason I'm doing this video is I recently did a course. Someone suggested that to try this course out that was for strength training for older adults, and all the course outline versus what they actually taught was completely different. So I thought, okay, it might be something I can add to when there was absolutely nothing in it, because everything they're doing is pretty much this picture here, telling you that, okay, you've got to keep things safe so they don't fall, and you don't want them to have a heart attack, and you don't want them to do this. So to make sure you don't do things standing up and don't do things too heavy. And it's like all the opposite of what I do all the time. And to do all of the stuff that this picture here is showing is absolute craziness. The people will never get better. They will only get worse. And to be honest, leaving the gym is actually harder than any of these workouts. Now, in all fairness, let's say if the person is disabled or on a walking frame, maybe this is the best exercise that you can do for them. But if the person can walk around and stand up and walk upstairs, maybe they can't even walk upstairs, but they can walk, they can stand. You as a professional should be trying to show a way to be able to enhance that and improve that, not sort of throw the cards in and say it's all too hard. It's too risky to do anything else, because all that's going to happen is that person's going to get weaker, and inevitably they will end up in a wheelchair because your advice of being too scared to help them has made them worse. So the very person they turn to for help has actually become the biggest problem. It just absolutely blows my mind that there's crazy stuff out there saying that. Now, the lady on the ropes here, I think she's almost 80. She's like high 70s, I think. Lady with the medicine balls are like, I think, mid 60s. So she's actually incredibly strong, the one with the throwing the medicine ball. So to label people because of their age and automatically assume they can't do things is not giving them the chance to radically improve. So the lady here on the right with the deadlift, she's mid 70s. Her husband, who's in the striped shirt here, he's just recently started back. He's had a stroke in the past, and he's also had a heart bypass only just this year, late last year. So he's doing some push on downward dog exercises there. The guy on the back on the wall there, he's had a back severe herniation of the disc. He's just recently started. Guy in the grey tops had a knee replacement only just last year and was at high risk of falling. Now he can actually do walking lunges and do all types of things. The guy doing the dumbbell row, he's had all types of problems with his feet from diabetes and other things. Lady doing the wood chop there in the white top, she's had a stroke. She's incredibly strong now, very, very, very skilled at doing nearly almost anything. So, see, all these people have had issues and have problems, but that doesn't stop them from learning. And they didn't start like this. They were really, really terrible, really scared in many cases. But they, with the right sort of plan, you can guide them into the things that they can do and they can learn the things that they struggle with. All right, so I'll show you a couple of other examples. Okay, so here's another example. This is of Laurie. This is from a few years back, so it's a video that I've done before, but at the time I think Laurie had just turned 80 or he was 79 or something, I think, at the time. He still trains with us at the moment as well, so he's 87 now, I think. So he's doing a 55 kilo trap bar deadlift, and he's doing it easy. So we were actually knocking out a lot for this video at the time, but again, to assume that someone at that age can't do things, and you can see his technique is just as good as anybody's, hence that's why he was able to do it so easily. And he had actually had a hip replacement only a year or two before doing this exercise. So it's another example of you can do things easily. I'll show you another one of Laurie doing a different exercise. Okay, so here's Laurie actually sprinting. So and I'll play this in real time instead of slow-mo, so you can get an idea of how fast he's actually running. So that may not look fast to you, but I'd love to see you be doing that when you're nearly 80 years of age, because there's not a lot of many people that could do that. So again, he'd only just started trying to run when he was, I think, 75. So, or maybe he was a bit older than that actually, but he hadn't actually ran for a long time, and he wanted to start doing it after he'd heard we'd actually helped his hip improve. So it was something he wasn't sure he could do, and and he didn't start out doing it that quickly. He had to build up like every other exercise, but with the right, not everyone can do that. I get that, but to just write it off because they're old, that they can't, it's just crazy. If you're an expert in teaching people to move, the logic that you use for a 20-year-old is the same for an 80-year-old. There's just more complications, but the way that you should be trying to do it is the same. You shouldn't just assume that they can't. Try and explore every option you can, and then if you can do it, then that's great, and you try to make the best out of everything. But at the end of the day, it's about trying to use exercise to be higher than the level of what life's minimum requirements are. And I've spoken about this many times before, and unfortunately there's so many training programs out there, training methods and training styles that are actually training people below the level of life, which only sets people up for bigger problems later on. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a rant, I suppose, but I thought it would just be interesting to sort of see the difference in styles and and the way that you can overcome things with good sort of intelligent program design. All right, so I hope you enjoy that, and see you next time.